what we're seeing, regardless of how they're playing it, it's clearly not America first.
So Ian Carroll recently went on the Digital Social Hour to talk about some of what he considers betrayals to the America First movement by the Trump administration, even after about 2 months in office. He gets into some interesting things here, and maybe some things we agree with, some things we disagree with. So let's watch and let's react.
I mean, Elon's investigation into how these governments are spending the money is mind-blowing. If these are true, like, I don't know if they're true, what he's tweeting, but
the ones that I've looked into are, I mean, that's the other thing I try to do is, like, a lot of the stuff I got started on was there's all these conspiracy theories online, and you usually see like an Instagram reel with no sources.
Right.
So it's like, I'll just look up the sources. Like, can I find the information to back this up? And so a lot of the Doge stuff, I started digging through the publicly available government sources. And it's like, I mean, I found a whole bunch of shit right in line with what he's talking about.
checks out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't find all the like transgender mice stuff and everything because there's so many receipts online already. But I don't doubt a single one of them. But I also am kind of disheartened by the fact that like they uncover all this Doge shit, and then we have this vote on continuing the budget, and Massie's the only one standing on principle saying, no, fuck this budget. This budget funds all the things that you're speaking out against and trying to get rid of with Doge, and you're about to fund all of it all over again. And now Trump is coming out attacking Massie as though it's like, let's primary Massie. Like, that feels such a misstep in my mind.
And
A political misstep beyond being a betrayal of America First. There's no one more America First in Congress than Thomas Massie. He was one of few Republicans that opposed the insane CARES Act and the corporate welfare that came with that. Basically the biggest expenditure in U.S. history. And Ian's not wrong here. Not only did the CR that the Republican Congress voted in go on to fund USAID, it will also go on to fund the Department of Education that the Trump administration is attempting to dismantle. They're playing some shifting schemes there and putting some of its programs into the SBA and HHS. But it's just ludicrous. If you really wanted to be America First, there's nothing less America First than dragging the most America First congressman, pretending that he needs to be primaried, which you essentially tried 2 other times, and Massie has withstood that and gained immense money in fundraising because of it.
see that.
All of Twitter this morning is just raging against Trump on it. Even Trump supporters, like, I'm really proud of the sort of Republican side of politics right now, especially on X, because they're standing on principle, at least at the moment, not on party.
Yeah.
And this is a clear call out. It's like, it feels like a war from Chris LaCivita. And it's just ridiculous. It's like, fuck you guys. We stand with Massie. We stand with America First.
It does feel different. I feel like 16 Trump, his supporters would just support everything.
Yeah.
And now it feels like there's actually intellectual conversations going on.
But also 16 Trump, I mean, we didn't have 4 years of him kind of failing to deliver on a lot of promises yet. And 16 Trump, like the famous quote from the debate stage against Jeb Bush of like, I don't want your money. I don't need your money.
Right.
And that's why they're all booing me right now.
Yeah.
And man, I wish we had that guy in office right now. And I do love a lot of the things that Trump has done. More, I love the things he said he would do. I think a lot of us are starting to get a little disappointed about how many things we're not getting done that we said we'd get done.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about Trump taking away support from Ukraine only to restore it a few days later in the hopes of this fruitless ceasefire that Russia will only agree to with its own terms that would essentially be the same terms that it would want to end the war. This is insane. It's not America First to restore aid to Ukraine. When it comes to bombing the Houthis on behalf of Israel, who hates the Houthis because the Houthis support Palestinians, that's not America First. Escalating the theater in Yemen, the war, is not America First. Passing the CR, which is insane. It continues Biden-era spending and will result in incredible debt, is not America First. There's so many things that seem to be betrayals of, the stated program of the Trump agenda under his campaign. And I don't know if I agree with these guys. I think some of the most zealous Trump supporters are even more apt to call this stuff 4D chess right now and say things like, well, we have to send a signal to Iran. We have to bomb the Houthis to send a signal to Iran, after talking about non-interventionism for the entire campaign. It's absurd. Trump has a powerful cult of personality. There's no denying it. And I think it might be stronger now than it's ever been, honestly.
I thought the files would be published by now. I don't know if that's on him or whatever, but
So a clip came out just yesterday from Tucker Carlson talking to Cuomo on Carlson's podcast, where they were getting into why aren't the files out yet. And Carlson said that he had inside information on someone in Congress that had pressured, these people not to release files. And then Chris Cuomo was like, why don't you expose them? You know who they are. Like, say their names.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's Tom Cotton. And so that is just one great example of how inside of Congress, there are forces working against, even if Cash and Pam Bondi actually want the files released, which I'm not convinced they do at this point, especially Pam. There's strong forces inside pushing against them. And it's important to remember that we don't know if that's because they're blackmailed or if that's because they're trying to use the blackmail on the people that are blackmailed. And there's more complicated plans going on here.
Cotton is a supervillain, no doubt about it. He's one of the most war-hungry members of Congress, but I tend to think that the biggest roadblock to releasing the Epstein files and other classified documents isn't in Congress, but in the deep state. It's not clear to me who's responsible for, destroying or hiding or stopping the Epstein files to be released between the FBI and the DOJ. But from what I was following, it looked like Pam Bondi expected the FBI to deliver more files than she wasn't at first thinking of. And when they failed to deliver the full volume of files, that's when you saw kind of this internal memo and some things spiral out of control. I have no doubt that there's powerful forces in the FBI working to destroy it. There's obviously people that would be exposed if the actual clients list would be released. And I don't think it ever will be. I think the binders thing was a total insane ploy to get people interested in this thing. And it really backfired on the Trump administration.
I understand that there's complexities here and that there's certain amount of transparency that might actually be harmful to national security.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't promise things you can't deliver on. And what we're seeing, regardless of how they're playing it, it's clearly not America first.
Yeah.
So
How is Tom so influential that one person can be that?
that's a good question. He's on one of the important committees in Congress that I forget exactly which one it is, whether it's the House Intelligence Committee or what it is, but he's on one of those committees. And that's how Congress kind of gets stratified, where not every congressperson is made equal. And some of them have way outsized amounts of power and influence because it's not just having a seat, it's having the right seats within those seats, like as in all those different committees, but then it's also having all of the political capital, all of the wheeling and dealing capital. And that's the rat race that ultimately is that power corrupts and ultimate power corrupts, or absolute power corrupts absolutely. And Tom Cotton feels like the quintessential shill, in my mind anyways.
He is right about that. Tom Cotton is on the Select Committee for Intelligence, and those senators will probably wield a lot more power than the average congressman in terms of the intelligence. But again, the deep state is the unelected bureaucracy that controls this, even beyond the desires of the departmental heads. I think that there's forces within the FBI that are able to hide things that Kash Patel does not want them to do. These are siloed agencies with different departments and division of responsibilities, where certain bureaucrats over the course of several decades have grown and grown in power beyond, again, the electoral outcomes and those that Trump intends to head those departments. Sometimes this stuff is unavoidable. And even if you have a pure-hearted anti-deep state administrator, like some people believe that Patel is, you wouldn't be able to necessarily stop that. But Ian Carroll's right here. The Trump administration really has gone back on quite a few of its promises in terms of the campaign and been a lot more bellicose in terms of foreign policy than many of us desired. A lot more willing to spend money. That's not really a departure from the first Trump administration, but to drag Massie of all people. Massie was right about this thing. So what do you guys think, though? Has Trump betrayed America First principles? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, no more war, no more debt, no more inflation, and no more empire. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.